You've heard of juiced balls. You've heard of juiced players. What you haven't heard of, though, in the nearly 200-year history of baseball, is juiced bats. Sure, there have been corked bats. There have been bats with weird handles. There have even been bats filled with rubber bouncy balls. The thing with those, however, is that they were illegal. Or, in the case of the axe bats, just kind of dumb looking. What we're dealing with today is completely different.
Controversy in Major League Baseball right now. At the center of it all, the so-called torpedo bat.
Torpedo bat.
Torpedo bats.
Torpedo bats.
Torpedo bats. Torpedo bat.
The torpedo bat.
He didn't see the torpedo bat craze coming.
And they're hitting it off here, right?
They
Not
moved the barrel basically down.
You know, they came up with a different design, something they felt was going to work better. Nobody said they couldn't use it, so go for it.
Well, that didn't take long. We're just a week into the 2025 season, and there's already drama hitting Major League Baseball. On March 29th, just the second game of the season, the New York Yankees went on a rampage, crushing a franchise record 9 home runs in a 20-9 win against the Brewers. Baseballs were flying out of Yankee Stadium at a rapid pace, with 8 of the 9 coming in the first 4 innings alone. By the end of opening weekend, New York had slugged a whopping 15 home runs. In no time at all, the internet was flooded with posts, videos, and articles about the Yankees, the record-setting barrage, and most of all, their bats. What exactly is a torpedo bat? Let's break down the science behind the biggest innovation in baseball since Cracker Jacks. We'll start with the name. The torpedo bat is named after its unique shape, which resembles, you guessed it, a torpedo. Put simply, what this bat does is shift the widest part of the barrel closer to the hands, towards the batter's sweet spot. Since every hitter's sweet spot is a little different, some are higher and some are lower, each torpedo bat is a slightly different shape. The idea here is that by putting more weight at the part of the bat where the hitter is most likely to make contact, the better and more powerful that contact will be. Now, if you've watched any baseball this past week, you've heard about these bats. What you might not know, though, is that torpedo bats have been around for much, much longer. The idea was first thought up by a man named Lenny. Aaron Lenny Lenhart is an MIT physicist and baseball fan who spent several years as an analyst in the Yankees organization. While in New York, he spoke to several batters who complained about wanting to make better contact with pitches. So Lenny got to work developing a new kind of bat, one that would take excess weight from the top of the bat and move it to the sweet spot. It's a simple idea in concept, but it marked the first major innovation in baseball bat technology since, well, I'm not sure when. As with any change to the game, fans, and even some players, were soon in an uproar, demanding that these newfangled bats be banned by the league. MLB, however, confirmed on Sunday that the torpedo bats do not, in fact, violate the rules, which state, "The bat shall be a smooth, round stick, not more than 2.61 inches in diameter at the thickest part, and not more than 42 inches in length. The bat shall be one piece of solid wood." But this isn't the first time these new bats have been used. Jose Trevino employed a torpedo bat during the 2024 season, and Aaron Leonard said that some players have been swinging them as far back as 2023. Cody Bellinger first tried out the torpedo bat in practice with the Cubs last year, although this is the first time he's used it in a regular season game. "Personally, the weight is closer to my hands, so I feel as if it's lighter in a way," Bellinger told MLB. Obviously, the bigger the sweet spot, the bigger the margin for error. This logic seems sound, but what does the science say? Alan Nathan, a physics professor at the University of Illinois, is on board. "You want to remove the weight where it doesn't do you any good," he said. Now, the next logical step is not only to remove weight, but move it somewhere else. According to Professor Nathan, moving the weight down the barrel lowers the bat's so-called swing weight, while increasing the surface area helps with contact. On the other hand, a lower swing weight means less mass to hit the ball with, which leads to reduced power. Think of swinging a sledgehammer with all of the weight at the end, as opposed to one where the weight is more towards your hands. In short, there are trade-offs to using these new bats. But that's what the nerds are saying. What do the players think?
Oh, I love my bat. You know what I mean? I think you could tell.
No, Victus is making the bats. Everyone can get them. It's definitely the only reason we're playing well, doing well, hitting any home runs. So I mean, I picked up one in spring training last year. Just started toying around with it, swinging it a little bit, and I asked, are there different models? I just kind of started getting curious about it, and asked who everybody knows now as Lenny. Yeah. I was kind of asking him about it, and that's how we went about it.
So then, do they work? As of this video, there have been at least 16 players confirmed to be using Torpedo bats this season. Through April 1st, which, to be clear, is a sample size of just a few games, so don't read too much into this. Through April 1st, these 16 players have an average OPS of 825 with a home run rate of 5.6%. Compare this to all other hitters who have an OPS of 697 and a home run rate of 3.1%. Like I said, these stats are over just a few games, and these 16 hitters are not a representative sample of all players league-wide. There are some around the league who haven't quite bought in. Reigning home run champion Aaron Judge is one of these skeptics. Judge has yet to swing a torpedo bat, and has no plans to do so anytime soon. He said after his 3-homer game that while his teammates might be using the new model, his results over the past few seasons speaks for itself. Brewers pitcher Nestor Cortez, who allowed 5 of New York's 15 dingers last weekend, also downplayed the effects of the bat. And then there's a potential possibility for injury. Yankee slugger Giancarlo Stanton has been relegated to the bench this spring due to tendon injuries in both elbows, which he's blamed on quote-unquote bat adjustments made last year. It was also last year that Stanton switched to using a torpedo bat, swinging one when he mashed 7 home runs in the postseason. The former MVP denies any connection between the bat and his injuries, but that hasn't stopped people from speculating. With all the discourse right now, you might be surprised to learn that this isn't the first time people have tried to mess with the bat. In the early days of baseball, I'm talking before it even became an official sport, bats weren't really a thing. You heard that right. Instead of a bat, or equipment of any kind, players would use their bare hand to strike the ball. Here's a historical reenactment. Once people came to their senses and started using bats, they still were pretty basic. Hitters used everything from tree limbs to axe handles, while others looked like large rolling pins, as seen in this photo of Heine Groh of the Cincinnati Reds. In the 1880s, a special ash bat was made for slugger Pete Browning in Louisville, Kentucky. Ash would soon become the standard wood for bats, and would stay that way for over 100 years. Hall of Famer Rogers Hornsby was among the first to adopt a thin handle, which was also later used by Babe Ruth. Ruth, who swung bats as heavy as 47 ounces, realized that by combining a big barrel with a thin handle, he could maximize his power. I think it worked. In the 90s, a hitter named Barry Bonds began swinging a maple bat, using it to shatter both the single-season and career home run records. Within a few years, maple would replace ash as the dominant wood. Today, bats are mostly made out of birchwood, which is better able to handle the triple-digit fastballs being thrown by modern pitchers. In a way, the torpedo bat is just the latest example of what might be the longest-held baseball tradition of them all: change. What do you think of these torpedo bats? Are they changing the game, like some people are saying? Or is the hype overblown? Leave a comment below and tell me what you think. And as always, like this video and subscribe to the channel for more like it. Thanks for watching.